Good morning, welcome to another episode of HardFoul Radio. This is the Monday after the Super Bowl. It is February 12th. Man, this is going to be the shortest episode we've ever done. This is going to be about 10 minutes. Because here's the reality of what we're watching. First off, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning another championship. 3 and 4 years, the first team to go back-to-back since the New England Patriots. But here's why this is a short episode. No, it's not because of my dying love of the sport, because there's the greatest quarterback we've ever seen in the division of the team that I root for. No, this is not a petty thing or a jealousy thing. That's because everyone's going to get on TV and get on their podcast, load up their microphone, their webcams, and everybody's going to try to give you a bunch of different angles about why they know what happened yesterday better than you did. We all know why yesterday happened. There's one guy in the league who has separated himself to such a degree that we've never seen in the NFL. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And a large part of that is because his resume feels almost otherworldly, untouchable. Look at other individual position goats. We've been debating, people have been debating all week about tight end, Kelsey or Gronkowski, but it's close whichever way you look at it to most people. You look at receivers, there's Rice, there's T.O., there's Randy Moss. You look at O-linemen, you get the Willie Andersons in there. You look at D-linemen, you get Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Aaron Donald. Corner's probably the only position that we think Dion is by himself. But we have a second position where the guy is by himself. And that is Patrick Mahomes and the quarterback position. Look, like I said, there's a million things you can come on here today and say. But the reality is, Mahomes is better than everyone. Those rosters aren't even close yesterday. Like, let's just be honest. The 49ers, top to bottom, have the better roster. They have probably the best roster in the National Football League. And it didn't matter. As long as 15 plays for Kansas City, it's his league, and we're all just living in it. Think about it. I said Brady's the greatest we've ever seen, and a large part of that argument is due to his resume. Never have we seen a player in the NFL who is so clearly better than everyone that it is legitimately, for the remainder of his prime, it is Mahomes versus the field. We've only ever seen that on a very limited basis. Michael Phelps in the Olympics, Serena Williams in tennis, Tiger Woods in golf. In periodic stretches, you could argue context was different, but in boxing with Ali. A quarterback to be so great that in a league with other truly great athletes, truly great quarterbacks, Josh Allen, despite his public perception, is a great quarterback. Lamar Jackson just got his second MVP. Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl and beaten Mahomes. No one's in his class. And it's still him versus the field. And if you asked, who would I bet on going into next year? Unfortunately, due to my own allegiance as a fan, it's Kansas City. And it's solely because of number 15 in Kansas City. The only thing you can talk about going forward is how many. How many rings will he get? How many yards will he throw for? But he has killed any day-to-day sports conversation. He's going to make it so impossibly hard to talk about the NFL for the next few years. Because he's just better than everyone. This isn't, oh, maybe this is Baltimore's year. Oh, maybe this is the Cowboys' year. Oh, the 49ers are going to bring back that stacked roster another year with Purdy. No. This is his league. This is his team, his league. It is him versus the field. He has, in all, this is supposed to be the season, right? The last 2 years, They have been back-to-back champs where they were playing the most young guys in the league outside of Chicago. And then this year had all these issues with receiver drops. The offense doesn't look the same. All these different things. And that's how they got their back-to-back Super Bowls. This was not a stacked roster, 97-98 Broncos. This was not a core's last run, the 03-04 Patriots. These were potentially the worst years of Kansas City. And they got 2 titles out of it? It's the best we've ever seen. You can't come. He's going to destroy, like I said, he is going to destroy the way that we talk about the NFL, because we have not, in the social media era, in the day-to-day sports talks era, had a guy in the NFL be this much better than everyone. Look at NBA discourse. And I love the NBA. This is not a shit on the NBA topic. But NBA discourse has been largely very unstellar, downright bad in a lot of regards, because we've had LeBron James for the majority of the past 13, 14 years was, once Kobe Bryant's decline took in, and he was clearly the best player in the world, and he was clearly the best player on the planet for a decade plus, you had to make up these conversations that really didn't matter, because regardless of what you thought of the NBA, there was an 8-year stretch where LeBron was getting to the finals out of the East. And on the other side, the other close to transcendent players, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and the Warriors, were getting out of the league in the West. And it destroyed basketball commentary. Not saying not saying that the product is not still enjoyable to watch, not saying that it's not still something I look forward to the season starting and watching the games. But LeBron invalidated it because he was so much better than everyone. And we've never had that in the NFL. The NFL, partially due to injuries, the way the salary cap works, and the quarterbacks taking up such a huge amount of the salary, it normally makes it really hard for the rest of your team to be beyond competent outside of 3 or 4 positions. And that normally holds you back, which is why most quarterbacks end up with 2 or 3 rings, depending on how, and that's the elite guys. Like the all-time great Pantheon guys get 2 to 3 rings. Brady obviously never took the massive contract, and that is part of his formula of how he got to 7. Mahomes had the biggest cap hit in the league. The biggest cap hit in the league, and he still won the Super Bowl. So you're telling me we're supposed to think there's optimism amongst the other 31 NFL franchises for the guy who, for last year, now 2 years ago, especially as the new season's going to roll around, played with the most young guys of any team to win a Super Bowl, and now this year played with an inconsistent receiving core and the biggest cap hit in NFL history, the first quarterback to ever win with the biggest cap hit. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? This is Patrick Mahomes' world. He is the best player. He is the best quarterback. Not just right now. And I don't like these I normally don't like these, but I finally understand it. We'll end with this. Part of Michael Jordan's mystique is not that he got 6 titles and was crowned the GOAT. Part of his mystique is he won 3 straight, and they put a statue outside of Chicago saying, the best to ever do it. Mahomes has won only 3 titles. I understand Brady's won 7. But Mahomes is so clearly the best any of us have ever seen. Not the best right now. Not the best of the last 20 years. Not the best of your lifetime. You won't ever see this again. And as a Bronco fan, I hate that it has to be him wearing a Chiefs uniform. But you can't sit there and not just appreciate the kind of greatness that we're watching. It is Mahomes versus the field for the remainder of his prime. This is HardFoul Radio.